Hey guys. So obviously we don't have class tomorrow, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about ways to read your classmates' papers, ways that are really productive instead of just editing the papers, which is something that I don't want you to be doing. So, to give you an example, here's an essay. It's from 2019, so it's obviously dated, but it's an analysis of neurodiversity or disability in TikTok and in a specific video. So, yeah, so I'm just going to read this and sort of comment on it as a reader, right? As someone who is reading through something. Of all the places that one would think should be free of discrimination, an app intended for children should be at the top of that list. Well, that's pretty engaging. It makes me really curious. It makes me want to keep reading. And so I think for me as a reader, I find this like a really interesting introduction. I'm like, why would an app intended for children be discriminating? I kind of want to know more. So just as a reader, that's my reaction. I really like this introduction. But through the use of age unrelated examples and sounds, the Bella Thorne TikTok trend teaches younger generations that it is not okay to make fun of individuals with dyslexia, but that it can have social benefits. So this is really confusing to me. First of all, there's no sort of transition between that first sentence and this sentence, which I guess is the argument. It feels really difficult to follow. The use of age, I'm not really sure what that means. Unrelated examples, again, what? And sounds, I guess that sounds kind of interesting. I'm kind of interested to see how sounds do this. But there really needed to be some kind of a transition, some kind of a connection between this first sentence and this second sentence. It feels like I've been thrown into this thing, which is clearly supposed to be an argument and is just trying to do too much, right, in one sentence. So this is a really long sentence. It needs to be broken down. It needs to be unpacked. It needs to be explained a little bit more. And it teaches younger generations that it is not only okay to make fun of individuals with dyslexia, but that it can have social benefits. So that's an interesting argument, I actually think that's really interesting, and that's I'm really curious to see how it teaches younger generations that it is okay to make fun of individuals with dyslexia, which is really sad, by the way. But I don't love this part, and so for that reason, I feel like this author should have probably broken those things down and spent a little bit more time explaining their argument. So TikTok is an app that allows users, particularly children, can post 10 to 15-second videos. That's a little bit awkward. It's confusing. I'm having trouble following. And also, I guess I'm wondering what the argument of this paragraph is. It seems to be just sort of informing me about TikTok, but each paragraph should have its own claim, right? Its own argument. And so maybe the argument is about the target audience of this particular ad, but then I would like that argument to be made more clearly. The end goal of TikTok is to end up in, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you look through this essay, and this is really interesting, right? That you're trying to reach more viewers. You want to have a high number of followers, and then different companies will sponsor you. So you really just want to kind of get people's attention. And sort of how do you do that, right? Especially in a changing world. But again, this is not a really strong topic sentence. It's not really making a claim. That's just a fact that it's constantly changing. Why does that even matter? Why does it matter towards this particular argument? So I would have probably started this paragraph with the video in question as a video to raise awareness about dyslexia. And that's interesting. this is really interesting that she was 14 years old, roughly about the same age as her target audience. I really like that this writer is pointing that out, and that this was an intentional move by the producers. That's really cool. Now I'm thinking about producers and what they're trying to achieve, but I don't know much about this video or what's even going on in the video. I know that she's in a park and speaking with her family, who helped her by prompting her to read the back of cereal boxes, but I'd like to see more sort of analysis of that video. And then there's these parodies, right? So when TikTok viewers, specifically young children, see adults making fun of a child with dyslexia and other neurodiversities. So here's one post by Amazing Granny. Stars and was posted by a middle-aged woman who could easily be a mother. But I don't really understand what the parody video is, right? And so I'm as a reader, I'm getting really confused here. I'm like, okay, I get it that there was this Disney video and that these people like Amazing Granny are putting up sort of posts and parody videos, but I don't really know what those posts and what those parodies are. And so that isn't working for me as a reader. So children are a malleable audience. In one post, they make fun of the original video. And this is better. I really like that this one has more details, that they switch a pair of sunglasses and a dog. And it can have unexpected and unintended consequences like bullying, right? And then I really love how the author picked up on small adjustments like in things like audio that are skewing the meaning of the original post, and the audio becomes static, much louder. That's really perceptive and really cool and really interesting, and it sort of shows how this parody is working, you know, to sort of mock the original video. And then in the Claudia video, the word dyslexia is repeated 7 times, and that makes it seem like Bella is only identified by her dyslexia. Again, a really, really smart comment. I really love that. How do we as a society fix a trend on TikTok that is slowly losing steam? Reporting posts is inappropriate, blocking users who spread stereotypes, deleting the app altogether, and more importantly, why does this matter? And I really like how the author really gestures toward, okay, what do we do about this? You know, there is no set answer to a majority of these questions, but our society can be more educated to realize when hate is unintentionally being spread, both on TikTok and on other forms of media, because if no one does anything and society appropriates this kind of behavior, then those with dyslexia and other neurodiversity will begin and possibly continue to believe that they are nothing more than a joke. Great concluding sentence, but way too long. Through the use of, I actually think this whole thing, you guys, is one sentence, okay? So as a reader, it's hard for me to keep up with it. You know, I'm starting to lose attention. So I love the point that the author is making here. The author's doing some really great work, but there are some parts of this essay that really confused me as a reader and could have been clarified. So that's the kind of commenting that I'd like to see on your classmates' papers, okay? I hope you guys all have a good night. I hope you enjoy your day off of class, but don't forget to upload your comments on your group mates' videos by 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night. Okay, thank you. Good night.